Hey guys, welcome to the Learn with Sandra show channel. I'm Alexandra and it's good to have you back on this channel. To all my returning subscribers, thank you for staying tuned. To new subscribers, it's good to have you here. Okay, so this space will help students, master English for exam purpose, okay, for WAEC, for JAM, for post-UTME. It is also for adults or lifelong learners who want to master English for work and everyday life. Okay, so it's a blend of ESL instruction, ESL as in English as second language, and exam preparations, just to make English learning simple, practical, and relatable. Okay, so you are so welcome. There's also a bonus for art students, okay, with JAM past question for government and literature in English. So enough with the niceties. What do we have for today? So today we are going to be looking at some post-UTME past questions for UNILAG. Okay, so if you are a UNILAG aspirant, this is for you. So based on past trends, these are likely questions you should expect. So let's start with question 1. Question 1 to 10 are questions under synonyms and sentence interpretation. Now, here's where it gets challenging. The focus word or phrase is not underlined in each question, so you would have to identify that first before selecting the best answer. Okay, so let's start with question 1. The speaker wandered in his talk and did not keep to the subject. The audience grew impatient. So the focus word is wandered. Okay, and how do I know it is wandered? From the options, we see deviated, we see rambled, we see swerved, we see diagnosed. Okay, so the main word or the focus word is wandered. Wandered is to move or walk aimlessly. Okay, and it is used in the context of physical direction or movement. Okay, but when you take a look at the sentence is in the context of speech rather than physical direction or movement, right? You see, as the speaker, speech, wandered in his talk, speech, and did not keep to the subject, speech, right? The audience grew impatient. Okay, so it is in the context of speech, right? And when we say context, we mean, the surrounding words, we mean, the circumstances, the situation, the condition, right? So deviated means to stray from path, and it is also used in the context of physical movement and direction. So we say deviated from, plans, deviated from paths, deviated from norms, deviated from standard, so it's not common to use deviated in the context of speech. Now, when we say rambled is to talk or write in a confused way, aimlessly, wandering off points. Okay, so this is the answer to this question. Okay, because rambled is in the context of speech, right? When we say swerved is to change direction suddenly. It's a sudden change in direction. When we say diagnose, this does not even fit the context, because to diagnose is to identify a problem or an illness. Okay, so the best answer to this question is definitely option B, rambled. Question 2. Its theatrical manner made even a sincere statement sound unconvincing. Now, the main word is theatrical manner, and it means, overly dramatic or exaggerated. Now, when we take a look at option A, playing, acting, it means performing a role or playing a role, pretending, right? When we say dramaturgy is a theatrical term, and it means, writing and producing plays, the art of writing and producing plays. Histrionic is dramatic, being dramatic, excessively dramatic. While option D, actions, is a general term that does not caption, the idea of exaggeration or excessive drama. So the best answer to this question is definitely option C, histrionic. The unbearably conceited behavior of the servant made him lose his job whenever he got one. Okay, so the main focus here is conceited. Okay, conceited is full of yourself, excessive pride that it has become unbearable, right? Now, option A, indecent. Indecent means improper, and it is used in the context of morals. Let me say impatient. Impatient means not patient. Let me say insufferable. Insufferable means too extreme to bear, right? And it is used to describe someone that is arrogant. Okay, insulting means rude. Okay, so the best answer to this question is definitely option C, insufferable. Question 4. Civic authorities were at their wits' end when, despite their best efforts, cholera was unchecked and beyond control spread among citizens. Now, how do we interpret this? The civic authorities are becoming confused, they are becoming frustrated because, despite their efforts to control the widespread of the cholera disease, citizens are still contacting it. Okay, Option A, we have endemic. Okay, so endemic is a disease found in a particular area, okay, a particular region, a particular geographical area. Now, this disease is not necessarily, spreading uncontrollably. Okay, it is just consistently present in that area. Now, when we speak of spreading, spreading is a general word, is a general terminology that does not capture the seriousness we are looking for, right? When we speak of epidemic, epidemic is a widespread outbreak of a disease within a country. So it captures the widespread outbreak, it captures a disease that is growing or getting out of control, right? Now, when we speak of rampant, rampant is something that is growing and spreading, but not necessarily diseases. It's not specific to diseases. Okay, so the best answer to this question is definitely option C, epidemic, because it captures a widespread outbreak. It also captures the fact that it is growing or spreading uncontrollably. Okay, so option C is the final answer to this question. 5. The flood of personal experience and first-hand record of events written by the retired military general who had seen much action during war became the bestseller in the late 40s. Okay, now this sentence describes a man who has written his experience of the war, which is a personal experience of the war, right? And this describes a memoir. So memoirs are collections of personal experience and reflection written by someone. Now, one unique thing about memoirs is that it focuses on a specific event, like the war in this context, right? A specific event or a specific period of someone's life. Okay, an example of a memoir in Nigeria that I can point out to is There Was a Country, which is a personal experience of Biafra by Chinua Achebe. Now, Chinua Achebe's There Was a Country is a memoir because it blends his personal experience with politics and the history of Nigerian civil war. Okay, so when we say reminiscences or reminiscence for singular, it is similar to memoir. It emphasizes personal experiences, personal reflections, but the difference is it is less structured. It does not have a structure, basically. It's informal, right? It is usually not written as a book, okay? So when we say autography, autography is an account of a person's entire life. It's a story about a person's life, right? When we say reports, reports are objective writings. They do not capture emotional experiences, right? Or personal experiences and reflection. They are factual writings, they are factual accounts, right? So the answer to this question is definitely option A, memoirs. 6. The total freedom from care enjoyed by the rich man's son made him unfit for any serious work. Okay, so the main phrase, the focused phrase in the sentence is total freedom from care, and it means not having anything to worry about, not troubled, not worried. And we can see the rich man's son as an unconcerned attitude. Okay, so option A, we have careworn state. Careworn state means stressed, tired. In sense, option B, it means more relaxed because you have nothing to worry about. So it captures a carefree attitude, lack of concern. You know, option C, carelessness. Carelessness shows irresponsibility. It means recklessness, lack of attention, right? Complacence simply means, the feeling you get when you are satisfied with yourself. So it means self-satisfaction. Okay. So the best answer to this question is definitely option B, insouciance. Question 7. I could immediately identify you because your face reminds me of your mother. Okay, so the important word here is reminds. Okay, option A we have is reminiscent of. Now, reminiscent means brings to mind. Okay, when we say replica, replica is the exact copy or the reproduction of something. Duplicate also means reproduction of something, while prototype means the first model or the original model, right, from which others are made. For example, before I launch a phone, I could decide to create a simpler version that allows people to maybe, use some of the features like the camera. Okay, so that simpler version is called a prototype. Okay, so the best answer to this question is reminiscent of. Okay, in standard English, we generally do not see that a person's face is the replica of another person because replica is used in the context of man-made objects. For example, a replica of a building or painting, not a human face. Okay, so the answer is definitely option A. Question 8. The clever inspector saw through the whole game when the accused tried to evade telling the whole truth. The important word here is evade, okay? And evade means to avoid, so you avoid telling the whole truth. So option A is pretend. Pretend means to act as though something is true when it's not. Prevaricate means to avoid telling the truth by not answering the question directly. Okay, so option C we have lie. Lie is to say something false. Option D, deceive. Now, deceive is a broader terminology. It means to mislead. It is close, but it is not the answer to the question. So the best answer to this question is option B, prevaricate, because it means to avoid telling the truth. Okay, so option B is the final answer to this question. Question 9. The best way we can preserve from being forgotten the memory of a great man is to follow his ideals, not merely erect a statue of him. Okay, so the important phrase here is preserve from being forgotten. Okay, so option A we have perpetuate. Perpetuate means to cause something to continue, and this is the answer to this question. Okay, option A we have engender. Engender means to give rise to or to bring about. So you can also replace the word engender with cause or lead to. Okay, for example, if you keep treating people unfairly, it may engender anger. It may cause anger or lead to anger or bring about anger. So we have embalm. Option C, embalm means to preserve a dead body, right? Best answer to this question is definitely option A, perpetuate. Now, question 11 to 15 are questions on that commonly misspelled words. Okay, so let's proceed with question 11. No teacher of honor would subject a student to any form of dash. Now, the word is harassment. Okay, and harassment is spelled HARASSMENT. Okay, so we have single R, double S. Okay, so other options are misspellings. Okay, so the best answer to this question is definitely option D, harassment. Question 12. A watery stool that happens frequently is called diarrhea, and it is spelled as Diarrhoea in British English, while in American English it is spelled Diarrhea. So the difference is the presence of letter O and absence of letter O respectively. Okay, so the answer to this question is definitely option A, because in Nigeria, the official language is British English. Okay, so option A is the final answer to this question. Question 13. It is important that you clear the refuse in front of your house every dash. Okay, so the word we are looking for is fortnight, and it is spelled Fortnight. So other options are misspelled. Okay, so fortnight is a period of 14 days or 2 weeks. So the best answer to this question is definitely option B, fortnight. Question 14. The policemen became suspicious as the hoodlums dashed in their office. Now, the word is ferret and it means a search for something. Now, it can also be used to mean to move around searching. And if it is used in that context, a preposition is to follow, a preposition like about. Okay, so ferreted is spelled Ferreted. So we have a single letter T. Okay, so I want you to also note something when solving post-UTME past questions for English language. You need to take note of context, especially when it is given. With the sentence provided here, right? We already have a context, so you need to apply context. So you need to put into consideration context and the correct spelling of the word. So the answer to this question is definitely option C, ferreted about. Question 15. There are many ways to kill a rat, so we should be dashing our approach to the task ahead of us. Now, the word is eclectic, and as an adjective, it means selecting the best from a wide range of options or ideas. Okay, and how do we spell this word? It is spelled Eclectic. Okay, so option B is the final answer to this question. So questions 16 to 20 are questions under idioms and completing the sentence with the appropriate, word or phrasal verb. Okay, so let's continue with question 16. The man declared his intention from the dash. Okay, so option A we have outset. Outset is the starting point or the beginning of something. When we say inset, inset as a noun is a smaller picture within a larger one. So a smaller picture within the bounds of a larger one. So when we say onset, onset is also the starting point or the beginning of something, but something unpleasant. So it is used in the context of something unpleasant. Please note this, okay? When we say offset, offset means counterbalance or compensation. Okay, so the best answer to this question is option A, outset, because in the context, the sentence provided, it is not unpleasant in any way. Okay? So when do we use onset? Okay, so onset is used when you're talking about illness. Okay, so the onset of his illness, or the onset of the rain caught me off guard. Okay, so you can see that in the context in which I have used onset, it captures an unpleasant situation. Okay, so the best answer to this question is definitely option A, outset. Question 17. Some robbers are on the prowl. We must be dash. Okay, so by the way, prowl means to move about or to loiter about. Okay, so the best answer to this question is option C, because it has the correct or standard phrase in English language. On the alert is the correct answer, and it means to be watchful, to be cautious, to be careful, right? A lot of people will say at alert. At alert is not a standard phrase in English language. Okay, for alert is not correct, right? It does not make sense, right? So the best answer to this question is definitely option C, on the alert. Question 18. It was late when we decided to get dash the train. So the best phrasal verb to complete the sentence is get off. Now, get off means leaving or exiting, a train, a plane, a bus, right? So it means leaving, okay? And as you can see in the context, the sentence, we see it was late, okay? So when we say get down is Nigerian English. It is not globally accepted, okay? So note this. Option C, get out of. Now, you can get out of an enclosed space. So get out of a car, right? Get out from, not correct. So the best answer to this question is option A, get off. Okay, option A is the final answer to this question. Question 19. My friend and I have been quarreling since yesterday and we haven't dashed yet. Okay, so based on this context, we would answer this question, okay, and note that they are all in past tense, okay? Option A, made it out. Made it out means escape. Option B, made out. It is used in a romantic sense, okay? Option C, made it is to succeed. Option D, made it up is to reconcile or to settle. And that's the answer to this question because of the context. My friend and I have been quarreling. Okay. So made it up means to settle and to reconcile. Also, I want you to note that we can insert a pronoun between a phrasal verb. So a phrasal verb is a combination of, a verb and a preposition. And in this case, it is made up, right? And we can insert a preposition in between. Okay. It does not alter the meaning. Okay. So for example, turn off, turn it off, call it off, bring up, bring it up. Okay. Made up, made it up. Okay. So the best answer to this question is definitely option D. Question 20. You must study hard this semester in order to avoid being made dash ridicule. So the answer to this question is definitely option A, an object of ridicule, and it means, to be laughed at. Okay. So other options are not correct expression, especially in this context. They are not right together. They are not correct collocation. Okay. So the best answer is option A, an object of ridicule. So guys, we've concluded today's tutorial, and I'm sure you've learned something, as an adult, desiring to improve or master the English language, or students aspiring to get into the university. You've learned something today. So share it with me in the comment section, or you can as well share your ideas and suggestions. Okay, if you have questions you would like me to review, you can share with me via email. You'll find my email address in the description. Okay, do not forget to engage, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Till I see you in my next video. Bye.